let's start with our most disappointment players that we saw this season, and the players that exceeded our expectations all season long. You can name a disappointing or a person that exceeded your expectation. You can go
Well,
first.
well, first let's I'm gonna start with uh I'm gonna start with Lamelo. Lamelo was disappointing this season. We had high hopes. This coming into the season, people had high hopes for Cade and Lamelo that they could stay healthy, and lead their team to a potential playoff spot. But Lamelo couldn't stay healthy. So it was very disappointing because we thought this was going to be a big year for him, and he couldn't stay on the court at all. And the
I
talent's
know.
there, and if he's on the court, that team is a totally different team. But couldn't stay healthy.
Oh no, I didn't have him on there, but low key, he probably should have been on there. Like the disappointment is he's basically in that Zion range. He just can't stay healthy, and it's the same injury. It's an ankle. It's not a
Hmm.
hamstring. It's not like a leg. It's not an arm. It's an ankle. I don't know what it is, but it's always the ankle injuries. I think he came into the season wearing ankle braces, and it still didn't work. And I think he did. I think he had a procedure. I don't think it was like a major surgery, but I think he had like a procedure on one of his ankles or both. I don't know. But the fact that you are like the star player of the Hornets and you can't stay healthy, it is very disappointing. So I definitely agree
Hmm.
with that. Disappointment player. Honestly, though, it's kind of different now, but we're going basically kind of in the regular season. I'll say Jabari Smith. We thought Jabari Smith is high was a third overall pick. And we thought, but this is year 3 for him. We thought he would take the next step. He really didn't take the next step. I didn't see nothing really that changed with him. I think he has all the intentions to be a good player, but I feel like he just hasn't shown it on this Rocket squad. Now, that could be maybe because Ime is kind of holding him back, or it's just the fact that the team is just, it's a lot of young talent in his stack. But I feel like we should see more of Jabari Smith, and then he gets injured, and then Thompson rises, and now he's on the
Hmm.
bench. And now it's like now there's question marks of, are you one of the guys we move forward with, or do we take another chance? Because I think he's he's extension eligible. I don't know if it might be this summer or the next summer. But now we got to think about it. Do we trade you, or do we want to sign you to a long term deal? Now it's question marks now, but I would put Jabari Smith in like that disappointment category.
Well, yeah, Jabari Smith. Like you said, we thought he was going to come in better because last year he had a decent year. But then this year, I think his points went down like 2 points. I think he was averaging like 14 last year. Now he's averaging like 12. Um, but I think the rise of Amen Thompson is what really, pushed him to the bench. And then on top of that, everybody else, I mean, he came in, we thought he was going to be a great defender or a good defender. And I think Ime likes a man in Tari Eason more than, Jabari Smith. Because Jabari Smith, he's still kind of wiry. He's like Chet. He's 6'10", but 180, 190 pounds. Whereas a man in Tari Eason, they bigger than him. So, that could be a reason why, he got demoted too because of, defensive purposes. A player that exceeded my expectations this year, though, the most improved player of the year, Dyson Daniels. I think he should be on everybody's exceeded because no one's seen this coming. No one, I guarantee you, the casual fans did not even know who Dyson Daniels was until they started talking about him on ESPN. Um,
They didn't
but
even
yeah,
talk about who ESPN. They didn't even
Dyson
talk about
Daniels
who
is my
ESPN.
is one of my most one of my players that exceeded expectations this year. He jumped his points up from +10, went from 5 to 14, and increased damn near every stat, every category of stats: rebounds, assists, steals, field goal percentages. He increased everything.
No, yeah, he was on my list too. Like I like even though I guess you could say like, hey, he's a good defender, but who thought he was gonna lead the league in steals? Like who
Nobody.
thought that? No one thought that. And his offensive game, is a little question mark, but the fact that his points jump from what 6 off the top of my head to probably to 14. That's a big jump. That is a really big jump. And his assists and his rebounding, I think we said it like a couple of weeks ago. He has been the second best player on that team, especially since Jalen Johnson went out. And I'm glad he won most improved because I swear I was like, they gonna give it to K, but we both picked Dyson Daniels because we knew he deserved it. And I was like, the league got it right. They definitely got it right. And then they showed the results. K didn't even get a lot of first place votes. Zubac actually
I'm
came in
glad.
second on first place votes. But then I think K had the most third place votes though. So I'm glad the league did right. Well, the voters at least. I'm glad the voters did right and they saw his improvement. I'm glad they saw that because K was leading basically majority of the year. I'm like, bro, they're gonna give it to K because he got the team winning. But Dyson Daniels literally improved his play. So yes, he's on there, and I'm glad they did it right. Another player that I would say exceeded expectations. I'd say Trey Murphy. I think Trey Murphy. Hey, Trey Murphy, a baller, bro. I know this is probably his first year as like you could say the guy, even though Zion was there, but not there. DeJounte was there, but he was one of the most healthiest players, even though he got injured too. He was one of the most healthiest players, and he looked like one of the most complete players on that team. And he definitely took the next step. And now they're looking at him as a cornerstone for the Pelicans. He played 53 games. He averaged 21 points, 5 boards, couple assists, a steal. And I'm about to look at his 3-point percentage now. Like I think he shot the three really good. I mean, he shot 36%. That's decent. That's okay. But I think he improved a lot. And maybe next year he could be a most improved candidate. So I think Trey Murphy deserved that.
Yeah, Trey Murphy, he was hooping this season. I think that was a big part of the reason why they let Ingram go, because how he played throughout the course of the year. He might be a candidate for most improved because now he's gonna start next year for sure. So
Unless they get Cooper
um
Flag.
yeah, unless they get Cooper,
Because you would either have to put or
they
unless you
still
start
they
all
you put
three.
Herb on the bench.
Well, is CJ still there?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay, so CJ, so we got CJ, hypothetically, Herb or Trey, whichever 2-3. Cooper, Zion starting. Well, according to rumors, they're trying to get rid of him, so we don't know. But we're just hypothetically. Now, I think Loki, Herb might have to go to the bench. He might have to. I feel like he might have to because you need a center, bro. And you was on Willie Green all year talking about they gonna go out there with no center. So you need to play a center. So I
Yeah,
mean, someone got to go to the bench. Someone got to go to the bench.
but another disappointing player that I
Lamar
got
Lewis, gentlemen, what's up? What's up?
I got Bam Adebayo. Bam, he was very disappointing this season. He came back from the Olympics. We thought that he was usually players that come back from the Olympics, they have a better season. Everything in the statistical categories go up, but for Bam, it was opposite. He went down. Last year he was averaging 19, 10, and 4. This year he was averaging 18, 9, and 4. So I mean, yeah, it's not that big of a difference, but you would think that with Jimmy missing most of the season and you being the focal point on the offense and quote unquote their best player now, he would have took that jump and got over 20 points per game. But he didn't. He regressed this season. I don't know if that was because of the whole Jimmy thing and they thought Jimmy was going to come back. And so they just did enough to coast. I don't know what it was, but Bam was very disappointing this season.
Another disappointment. I'm gonna say Klay Thompson. I thought Klay Thompson definitely had a disappointment first season. Now, could Luca had played a part? Because obviously it's kind of different when, especially like play styles. I think Luca and Klay fit perfectly together. and you go to say Kyrie. Kyrie is still great, but him and Luka are two different. Kyrie is not gonna like set Clay up, at least not like Luka. Like Kyrie can still pass the ball, but he's not like Luka passing the ball. But Clay Thompson, I think it came over there, will at least probably be the third option. And it's like he really wasn't. I felt like he's a role player, don't get me wrong. But he looked like a legit role player. Like I felt like I didn't see no improvement. He only gave me 14 points. I think coming into the year, I would probably say we thought, well, at least me, I thought he would have at least 18, maybe 18 points per
Same thing he
game.
did in Golden State.
Yeah, like I thought he would do like that, but he only gave me 14 points per game. He shot 39% from three. That's still good. But I felt like he really disappointed. Like last year, he gave 17, especially with all the turmoil in Golden State. Then the year before that, 21. Thought we was gonna get that type of Klay Thompson at least, but we did it. And Klay Thompson, maybe next year he bounces back, but this year he was not good. He was not good for the Mavericks.
A player that I got for exceeding, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, I knew Karl Anthony Towns after that trade was going to play better just because of how he played when they had Thibodeau in Minnesota, but I didn't expect him to be well. I don't think he's the rebounding leader now, but at one point during the season, he was the rebound leader. I didn't expect him to go because last year he averaged 21 and 8. And now he jumped it up to 24 and 12. I didn't expect him to rebound as well. I didn't expect him to play this aggressively, but he exceeded my expectations. I thought he was going to do the same that he did in Minnesota, that 21 and 8, but he played above that.
Another guy, he exceeding expectations. Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey was good, especially at the end of the year. Josh Giddey was really good for the Bulls. I'm not gonna lie, and he's probably gonna get a contract extension from the Bulls. Well, they kind of have no choice but to give him because you don't have anybody, so you got no choice. But I think Josh Giddey. I remember when we did like our hot takes for players, and I remember I was like Josh Giddey would. I think I said he would not average triple double, but at least close. I think he averaged like I'm gonna say 16 and probably like
14, 8,
7,
and
7.
7.
That's what he averaged.
14, yeah, 14, 8, and 7.
Exact. Well, almost. I mean, like, bro, I knew he was gonna be the primary ball handler. He's a decent rebounder. His defense is not good, but I think he played. I think he played really good. I think after like the All-Star break, he averaged like 20 something and like 9 and like 9, something like that. Like he was really good. And and Josh Giddey deserves his credit. I know he did all that other stuff last year, but just strictly basketball, he was good for the Bulls. I think he was really good, and he might be a bright spot for them. So, I'm giving Josh Giddey his flowers. He was hooping this year.
A player that I got for being disappointing this year, Tyrese Halliburton. Last year, Tyrese Halliburton went crazy. He was averaging 20 and 10. I think he was the assist leader last year. And then now this year he dropped down to 18 and 9. I think everybody thought that Tyrese stats would have increased from last year. Probably I like how I think Trey's averaging like 24 and like 11 or 12 or something like that. I thought Tyrese was going to do that. I thought Tyrese was going to jump up to at least like 23, 24 and like 11 or 12 assists. But he got figured out this year. A lot of teams figured out how to play him and what's his favorite moves and things of that nature. So he got to go back in the lab. He got to have a bounce back year next year.
I mean, I'm convinced Tyrese is just not going to drop 25 points. I don't think that's him. I think he's always going to give me at least 20 and like 10. I don't expect him to drop 20, average 25 at least. But that's all I'm going to say for that. But I will say another player that's disappointing, Bradley Beal. I will say Bradley Beal has been very disappointing just the first 2 years in Phoenix. A lot of people, including me, thought they could potentially maybe win a championship with that team. With Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Booker, and the fit just doesn't look good. And 17 points, I think we expected more. I know you would take a sacrifice, but I didn't expect 17 points per game from a guy that was a 30-point score in Washington. And then people go say, that's empty calories. He was just over there Washington losing, yada yada yada, whatever. But he's better than that. He's better than that. Like this year, he only attempted 13 shots. And at least his last 2 years with the Wizards, he was at least attempted 1970. Now he drops to 13. I feel like you got to be better than that. But maybe this year, if Kevin Durant is traded, he might that might go up to close to 20 this year. But just strictly off this year, Bradley Beal he wasn't good, and he was always hurt. Like every time you look up, Bradley Beal was hurt, so he wasn't playing good, and he was hurt. Nah, bro, you on the disappointment list.
Well, I don't have any more players, but I got teams.
Oh, go ahead.
As
Go ahead
far
with the teams.
as teams that exceeded expectations, the Warriors.
Yeah.
I did not think the Warriors were going to be a playoff team. I didn't even think if they did make it, they was going to be a play in, and not make the playoffs at all. But since they got Jimmy, they turned their entire season around, and now they could potentially move on to the second round.
Who would have thought that they would get Jimmy Butler though? Who would have thought that? Because if they didn't get Jimmy, half of your prediction, because I think you said the Spurs would make the
We'll
playoffs
make it.
before the
Yeah.
Warriors. So low key, half the prediction probably would have been right, because if they had traded Jimmy, they would have been in the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably play it, but like you said, they probably don't make it. But it's kind of hard, but I get it. Like, yeah, you can say they exceed expectations, because we come in the year with the Warriors and we like, they still got Steph, they still got Draymond. We thought Kuminga was gonna be the third best player. We was wrong. I know I was wrong, and we thought they would be better, but they were not good. It showed that they wasn't good. You trade for Jimmy Butler, now you look like one of the best teams in the league during that time. And you have exceeded expectations. You go from basically not making the playoffs to potentially might go to the Western Conference Finals or maybe even a final. So, yes, I agree. They have exceeded expectations based off that. They got lucky with Jimmy Butler, man. They got lucky with Jimmy Butler. Another player that is disappointing to me is Zion Williamson. Another year of Zion Williamson hurt. Another year of us not seeing what he could potentially do. Another year of him not making the playoffs. Because I swear, I'm like, man, they got a good team. They could potentially win 40-something games. But I did not predict they would be held. I did not predict everybody was going to get hurt. But Zion just doesn't stay healthy, bro. And I think we got to come in the year again and say, hey, man, we hope and pray Zion healthy. Knock on wood. But when Zion plays, he's great. But we don't see a lot of greatness from him because he's always hurt. So Zion is basically up there with LaMelo as the disappointment. Can't stay healthy, bro.
Do we gotta give Zion that Kawhi treatment? Like, he has to let him play like 30, 40 games and let him sit most games so we can have him for the playoffs?
I don't know, because with Kawhi Leonard, we seen him. He plays this year. He's healthy. I'm giving him that. He's healthy this year. But we saw it like 2 years. The last 2 years, they have let him play. He gets hurt. Then they did rest him, and he still got hurt. So I don't know what to do with Zion. I really don't know what to do. I mean, honestly, I feel like just let him play, bro. Like, you gotta just let him play. Because this year they sat him out in back-to-backs. But I don't know. I really don't know what to do with him. If it was up to me, I'll just let the dude play. But it just depends on the coach. It depends on what Willie Green wants to do. Or if he gets traded to whatever team, it depends on what that coach want to do. It just depends. It depends on management. But I would let him play. I just let the guy play and just pray he doesn't get hurt.
A team that was disappointing, the Sacramento Kings. Coming in before Fox got traded, and DeMar signed there, we thought that the Kings would take the next step, and probably fight for a playoff spot for a 6 seed or something like that, because they had a good team. They had nice pieces around them, but they started the season off slow. Then they traded De'Aaron Fox and got Zach LaVine, and that didn't really do anything. So yeah, Sacramento Kings were highly disappointed this season.
Bro, I look at the Kings and I'm like, so the league looks at every team. Every team looks at every other team and evaluates and looks at the players, management, or whatever. The Kings saw that DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine did absolutely nothing, but brought the same two guys in Sacramento and thought it was going to do something. What? That's just so dumb to me. Like they're the
probably thought it was
same
coaching.
dude. I
They
don't think
probably
it
just
was
thought it was a
coaching. I
coaching
think the
thing.
team. I think the team was just bad. I think the teams were just bad. Like the Kings were bad. And shout out to Doug Christie for getting an extension because you wanted the man gone.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't think they was going. I think it's better coaches out there than him.
Like who?
Taylor Jenkins, Mike Malone. Come on,
Man,
now.
I don't think they wanted them, bro. I don't think. I think those guys are looking at something else. But Mike Malone went to he coached at Sacramento. They didn't do anything when he was there, though. They didn't do nothing. Them teams were bad. And what if they don't want to go to, bro? The Kings are a terrible franchise. If I'm a coach, especially if I'm an established coach, now I can understand if you're a brand new coach, you gotta take whatever job gives you the opportunity. But Mike Malone, established, won a championship. Taylor Jenkins, established coach who has had good years with the Grizzlies. Why would I want to go to a weaker team? I want to go to a team that's that's at least close to being a contender. The Kings are not a contender. At least right now, they're not a contender. I wouldn't want to go there. And you know how it is, man. They be recycling these coaches, bro. Like, stick with Doug Christie. See what he do with a full season. I wouldn't be shocked. We in May? I would not be shocked if next year they fired a man after giving him the extension. I would not be shocked, bro. It's the Kings. I would. Bro, they just did it with Mike Brown. Mike Brown made the team relevant, then got rid of him. Like, what? I wouldn't be shocked if they did that, bro. It's the Kings. They're a terrible organization. They are a bad organization. Another guy that exceeded my expectations. My guy, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, man. Hey, man, the Wizards was bad. Don't we all know they was bad. But last year, Jordan Poole was terrible. It was terrible last year. But this year, hey, man, Jordan Poole stepped it up, man. He was out there hooping for that weak team, man. Gave me 20 points, little 5 assists, 3 rebounds. It's better than what he did last year. I know a lot of people thought he wasn't going to do nothing. But I was like, Jordan Poole, he going to play better. He going to play better because last year, he was BSing. He was BSing out there. But Jordan Poole is up there. He exceeded my expectations for this year. Jordan Poole, you my guy, man. You my guy.
A player or a team? Well, really, the team itself. The Rockets, they exceeded expectations for sure. I mean, I don't think they played decent last year, but I don't think anybody saw them as number 2 in the West. If anything, people definitely saw them probably making the playoffs, or playing for sure, but they didn't see number 2 in the West, and that's all a part of a man stepping up. Him emerging. He's averaging like 14 points now. I think last year he was averaging like 7 or 6 or something like that, and he jumped it up to like 14. So his emergence and their defense this year, got them to where they are now. So they definitely exceeded expectations.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I said they would be a top 4 seed, but I did not predict top 2. I don't care who. If you could be the biggest Rockets fan, I think a lot of them would probably say, "Oh, we knew we would be better." But not a top 2 seed in the Western Conference, especially we talk about the West, how it's up for grabs, anybody can win it. So who thought a young team in the Houston Rockets would be up there, potentially might beat the Golden State Warriors, but just the fact that they're in the top 2 seed, and like you said, it's because of Ben Thompson taking the lead. Regular season wise, Jalen Green was okay. Sengun was good. Sengun was good. And obviously, Fred was okay. Dylan Brooks was okay. But I just think year 2, of a development, it helped them reach the next level. And I think a lot of people forget this is really the same team from last year. They didn't go out and get
Yeah.
nobody really new. It's not like they got a new role player or a star player. This is the same exact team from last year. It's literally same exact team. It's just Steven Adams, but he was already on the team. He just didn't play really. So he's basically like your addition. He's been great for them, and especially in the playoffs. So yes, I agree. They definitely exceeded everybody's expectations. Like no one thought the Rockets were gonna be this. Shout out to the Rockets, man. We're gonna win Game 6 tomorrow, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Another, if you don't got nobody else, this is my last guy, Austin Reeves. Gonna talk about him later, obviously, but this is not from now. This is just basically kind of the regular season. Regular season. Austin Reeves stepped it up. He was the best third option in the league. Now I don't know, but at that time, he was the third best option in the league. Man, he was giving you like 20 plus points. He stepped it up. Like I think when AD was out, that's when he really stepped it up. And then once Luka came, he took his game to another level. And Austin Reeves, I think he's getting a lot of credit. Not now though, but at that time, he getting a lot of credit because he played really good, especially when either Luka was out or LeBron was out. Man was balling, bro. That white boy can hoop. So Austin Reeves definitely exceeded expectations, at least during the regular season.
Yeah, I don't got nobody else.
All right, yeah.